Welcome, fellow dadpreneurs. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 business lessons that I took away from a late night meeting with a friend of mine. Hey, my name's Adam Dukes, and I help dads escape employment by building a wildly profitable online business so they get more dad time. So last night I met up with a friend. She reached out to me and asked if I wanted to go to dinner. She was having some struggles with business. She has a very successful business on Amazon where she sells products on the Amazon marketplace and makes quite a bit of money. And she is building out a Shopify store, or she's had a Shopify store, I should say, and she's looking to expand that. So over the last several months, she has hired a couple of Facebook ads agencies and has had absolutely abysmal results with. Truth be told, I had not planned on recording this video. I sat down and fired off an email to my list about a big takeaway I had with a meeting with a friend last night. And as I was writing the email, 2 more takeaways and or lessons popped in my head. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to record a YouTube video on this. I'm going to start doing more of this kind of off the cuff type YouTube videos where I just kind of talk to the camera and share some thoughts. So let me give you a little backstory. So yesterday, my friend reached out to me and asked if I wanted to go to dinner. And it was perfect timing. Yesterday was Tuesday. I hadn't left the house since Saturday. I haven't had human interaction since my ex picked up the kids on Saturday. So I was craving to get out of the damn house. So it couldn't have been at a better time. So she asked if I want to meet for dinner. So we met for dinner. We talked business and stuff like that. And then she said, hey, you want to come back to my place? No sexual things, nothing like that. Calm down, calm down. And we sat down and she kind of opened up her computer and kind of let me take a peek behind the curtains. What she does is she sells products on Amazon. She's been doing it very successfully since about 2016. And she's built a Shopify store a couple of years ago, but never has really put too much focus into it. And during the pandemic, she has been kind of forced to spend a little more time, put a little more focus, time, money, and energy into building out the Shopify store. Because if you sell a product on Amazon, I tell this to people all the time, people just don't get it. Amazon is a distribution channel. It is not a business model. You do not want to build your entire business on Amazon because they can wipe you out like that. And I've heard horror stories over the years I'm not going to get into, but use it as a traffic source and or distribution channel, but also build other assets that you own and you control. So she understands that. So over the last several months, around September, she hired a Facebook ads agency to help her. Actually, I should just say an advertising agency because they're running Google and Facebook advertising for her. And they ran it for 2 months and it was absolutely abysmal results. She found another agency to do the same thing, and they were charging a pretty penny, both agencies, and she let that one run for 2 months and they got abysmal results as well. She is in the hole quite a bit of money over the last 3 or 4 months with this online advertising, Facebook, Instagram, and also Google. Neither of these agencies have been able to so-called crack the code for her store. And then so she's hired an in-house person, a local guy here in Las Vegas, and she's paying him quite a bit of money. Now he's more of an employee and he's doing some other marketing tasks as well. And it looks like early results from what I could tell looking at her Facebook ads is things are looking better than the previous 2 agents. I say all that to say I left her house at 3:20 this morning. I had no intentions of being out that late. We weren't drinking or anything like that. I don't drink anymore. But we purely sat there for probably 5+ hours talking her business, online marketing, social media strategy, email strategy, content strategy, building a brand, customer acquisition, back-end strategy, and everything else in between. And the first lesson here is find some type of work that energizes you, that motivates you, that inspires you. Find work that has meaning to you. Find work that you stay up at a friend's house on a Tuesday all the way across town in Las Vegas and you stay up till 3:20 a.m. Find that type of work and do that work every damn day. Now, I'm not going to tell you and bullshit you that you're going to be making money on day 1. You might not even be making money on day 180. I have no idea. There's so many different variables. But what I am saying is if you work it every single day, eventually you'll be able to monetize it. And at some point, you'll be able to live off of it, if you so choose, if you wanted to. So the first lesson is, like I said, find something that really you're passionate about. This shit last night, if it wasn't 3:20 in the morning, I'd still be over at her house talking to her about it, giving her ideas, giving her strategies on how to improve what's kind of broken in her business. I mean, I was pacing around the room at 1:45 in the morning in her living room, back and forth, just kind of firing off idea after idea after idea. I've been doing this for 10 goddamn years. I don't know it all. I'm not going to pretend to know know-it-all, but this shit fires me up, and that's why I was up till 3:20. And like I said, if it wasn't for it being so late, if we would have met in the morning, I would have been over there 18 hours talking about this shit. So lesson number 1 is find something that fire in your belly that you can talk about for hours upon hours upon hours, whether you're earning money or not. She didn't buy my dinner. She didn't pay me any type of money for this. This is the shit that I love to do. And I advise you to find something to do the same that lights that belly in your fire. Lights that fire in your belly, I should say. Lesson number 2, customer acquisition is the game. If you're building any type of business, I don't care if it's an online business, Shopify, Amazon, personal brand, affiliate marketing, MLM, consulting work, freelance work, whatever the hell it is, customer acquisition is the name of the game. Same with the pizza shop down the street, the carpet cleaner down the street, the attorney, the lawyer, the dentist, whatever it is, customer acquisition is the name of the game. So right now my friend is paying, since September, she's paying roughly about $200 per cost per acquisition, CPA, with her Facebook advertising. And her average order value, I think it's right around $80. So she's in the whole $120 up front. And that doesn't even include cost of goods, paying for the agency services, and all of that. So customer acquisition is the name of the game. So I suggested to her, she sells products in the about $65 to $100-ish range. That's about the range, but it's right about $75-ish is about the average order value. So I suggested to her to create so they're sending the website traffic to a Shopify page right now. I suggested maybe it would be more beneficial to have a funnel and sell something on the low end, something under $10 or a free plus shipping. I'm not going to give away her product, but she could offer something small, $7, $10, free plus shipping, whatever it is, just to get them in the door, paying them some money. And if she sets the funnel up right, she should be able to break even or even a slight profit on that front end. And then she has those people as customers that she can sell her higher ticket, the $60, $65 to $100 stuff that she can sell on the back end. So depending on what studies you find, I've seen so many studies over the years, but it's anywhere from 5 to 12 times easier to sell to a current and or past customer than it is to sell to a older customer, or to a new customer, to a prospect, I should say. So that's why I suggested, why don't you start off with something on the front end by a low price, something under like $20, free plus shipping, whatever it is. You'd probably have to test it to kind of find what works, but sell something on the front end, over deliver. She has an assistant that works in her office at her house, and I said, why don't you have the assistant write a handwritten note to every single person that buys that low end product? It doesn't have to be personalized. It just says, thank you for shopping at XYZ. We appreciate your business. She does that on a Saturday afternoon. She writes 50 of them, let's say. And then throughout the week, she stuffs those notes into the packages that they mail out to the customers, giving them that wow experience. They just spent $7, $10, $12, $18, and they're getting a handwritten note. That drastically increases the chances that they're going to buy that higher price stuff at some other point. So customer acquisition is the name of the game. Getting customers into your business is absolutely essential, obviously, but maybe look at it a little bit different. Maybe you need to sell a lower end product to get them in the door. Wow them with your service, with your product, with whatever it is you're selling them. Go over the top so they're much more likely to purchase your higher end things at a later date. So that's lesson number 2 that I pulled away from my late night meeting last night with a friend of mine. The last lesson, if I sat down, I could probably pull out 5, 7, even 10 different lessons from our conversation last night going over everything. But the last lesson, the third lesson that I want to share with you today is, and I told her this, she was going on and on when she was first telling me about the problems she was having, explaining things. We're paying this much for customer acquisition. They're charging me this amount of money. I'm spending this much money on ads. It's not working, blah, 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 blah. And I said 3 words to her. And I said, build a brand. That is the secret there. And I told her, you need to focus on building a brand. She is, the agencies she's hired, they're so focused on direct response. And most internet marketing companies are focused on direct response. Now, I'm not saying that's not important. That obviously is. But so is building a brand. And what's beautiful about leveraging like Facebook and Instagram advertising, for example, is you can do both. You can build a brand and you can do direct response. Direct response meaning they take a specific action and it's measurable. So $1 in, $1.10 out, so to speak. With a brand, and why most internet marketers don't like brand or they don't focus on brand, it's tough to measure. It's very, very tough to measure. So the example that I gave you is writing down a handwritten thank you note. That's big. I do that very often with people who buy digital products from me. Does it provide a ROI, a positive ROI? I have no idea. I can't measure that. I can send out the handwritten thank you cards to people. Are they more likely to buy in the future? Most likely, but it's tough to track. Did they buy because of the handwritten letter? Who the hell knows? But so that was one of the big things that I hammered home to her, was build a brand. She, in my opinion, looking at some of the things, some of the Facebook ads that they were running, some of the email promotions that they were doing, and some of the other things that they were doing on social media, Instagram and Facebook, I thought she was going a little bit over the top with the sales. And I said, you need to build a brand. You need to evoke emotion with the people, with your following, whether it's through emails, social media posts, posting content, whatever it is. But to build a brand, and that's long-term, have long-term thinking. Building a brand, it's not something, like I said, you start doing handwritten thank you cards, it might not pay off next week, next month. It might take 6 months. It might take 12 months. And you don't know if it's going to pay off. That's the thing with building a brand. You don't know if it's going to work. And she brought that up a couple of times, saying, well, what if it doesn't work? You don't know if it's going to work or not. You have to be committed long-term to building the brand. So that's my last piece of advice with a late night meeting with a friend of mine about business, was to build a brand. All three of these takeaways can help you, though. That first one, like I said, arguably the most important one. Find something that lights that belly in your fire. Number two, or lights that fire in your belly. I keep switching it. No, I'm not even going to edit that out. Number two, customer acquisition is the name of the game. However you can get more customers into your business, the better. If it's some low-end product and then you ascend them up to a higher-end product, maybe that's going to work for you. Because again, it's 5 to 12 times easier to sell to a past or current customer than it is to a new customer. And then number three is building a brand. Having that long-term thinking of building a brand. Like I said, a lot of internet marketers, online entrepreneurs, they're so focused on the direct response, making the sale today, the customer acquisition, lifetime value, average order value, all numbers that I like, all numbers that I talk about, all metrics that I look at and track meticulously. However, you also have to think about building a brand and having that long-term commitment, that long-term thinking, patience with it, but by providing some really great experience, going over the top with them on whatever it is you do. So, hey, if you like this type of video, make sure you hit subscribe down below. Click that little bell notification, because I release 2 videos each and every week. I'm going to start doing these kind of off-the-cuff videos like this one here, where I just kind of share hopefully some wisdom or some advice or thoughts, perspectives, point of views I have from being in this industry for 10 plus years now. So if you like this, hit subscribe, click the little bell notification. As always, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, you can drop them down below. If you have a specific question that you'd like answered, I just released something new. You can check out the link down below. It's adamdukes.com/ask, where you can ask me a question and I will answer via a YouTube video. Not to worry, I'm not going to share your name or your email or your company or your address or your social security number or your mother's maiden name. It's completely anonymous, but it'll help you. I'll answer your question. It'll help me because it gives me content to share with others. Very likely, if you have a question, there's probably hundreds and or thousands of people with that same question. So we're also helping other people as well. So you get help, I get help, we're helping other people together. It truly is a win-win-win. So check out the link down below, adamdukes.com/live. As always, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it.